Now we have another shloka by Bhavbhuti. He makes comments on the critics of his own time. If learned critics publicly deride my verse, well, let them. Not for them I wrote. If the learned so-called critics criticize my work, my creation ruthlessly, let them do it. I care a fig for their judgments, because I have not written anything for them. I have not created anything for them. I have not done my work for them. One day a man shall live to share my thought, for time is endless and the world is wide. Bhavbhuti says that there may be 100 critics who may criticize my works ruthlessly, 1,000 critics who may criticize my works ruthlessly, but there may be one benevolent reader one day who will understand my work, who will understand the value of my work, who will appreciate it. So what he means to say is that one worthy reader outweighs 1,000 unworthy critics. One worthy reader is better than 1,000 bitter critics. Now we have 3, 4, 5 and 6. Third, 4th, 5th and 6th stanzas, which are, translated from Bhartrihari's shlokas, Sanskrit shlokas, by John Bro. Bhartrihari has written, as I have told you, 3 shatakas, 3 centuries. Shringar Shataka, Niti Shrataka and Vairagya Shataka. In the third stanza, or the third part of this poem, he says, of what use is the poet's poem? Of what use is the bowman's dart? Unless another's senses reel when it sticks quivering in the heart. According to Bhartrihari, a dart from a bowman and verse from a poet have the same effect, same work, same power. And if the dart cannot strike straight to the mark, straight to the heart, that dart is useless. If it falls down somewhere on the ground, it is useless. In the same manner, if the poetic lines from a poet don't touch the heart, don't pierce the heart of the reader, then those lines are useless, like the dart which falls down without striking the mark. So what he wants to say is that the poetry should be effective. The poetry should be powerful, sharp, keen, which should strike the heart straight, pierce the heart, make the reader reel with pain. It should echo the heart of the reader. Another shloka by Bhartrihari. These lines, you see, remind us of Bhavbhuti. Bhavbhuti's line where he said, if learned critics publicly deride my verse, well, let them, not for them I wrote. These are Bhavbhuti's line. In the same manner, Bhartrihari also says that scoundrels without the wit to fit a word or two of verse together are daunted not a whit to sit in judgment on the abstruse poetry of another. What he wishes to say is that foolish persons sometimes become judgmental. Foolish persons sometimes weigh the value of poetry, though they don't deserve to do this stupendous task, to do this great task. They are foolish, yet they affect to be learned critics, which they are not. They even can't join a word, even a word or two together. They cannot join words and make it a meaningful sentence. And they affect to be learned critics. And in judgment on abstruse poetry, philosophical poetry of another, they start judging the value of other people's poetry. Such men will listen with attentive mind, alert to see how many faults they find. Instead of finding the valuable things, gems in a poetry, what they do is they try to find out faults, shortcomings, mistakes in a work of art. So their criticism is venomous criticism, poisonous criticism, because they cannot find meaningful things, valuable things, precious gems in a work of art. And if they are vexed, if they are irritated because they fail to grasp the sense of works conceived for readers of intelligence, they naturally do not blame their foolishness. A girl who is less than perfect always blames the dress. And the poet says that they try to find faults with great poets, with the poetry of great writers. And if sometimes they failed to understand the work of art, to follow it properly, what do? Instead of saying that they themselves are foolish, and if they are vexed because they fail to grasp the meaning, grasp the sense, of works conceived for readers of intelligence, if they fail to understand the meaning of a work of art which has been written for refined readers, they start blaming the work of art, the poet, the situation, the circumstances. They naturally do not blame their foolishness. A girl who is less than perfect always blames the dress.